Hello everyone, Colin Canet here for WoodWorkWeb. And today we're just making a very short video to show you something I'm really excited about. And it's in the world of woodworking, sometimes the littlest things can mean a lot of time saving in the workshop. And in the last week or so, I was introduced to something called a little silicone glue brush. Now, probably a lot of you already have this, but there's probably an awful lot that don't have this and wonder if it really does work. I purchased one. They're pretty inexpensive. I think they were around $5 or something. This I purchased at the Rockler store. They're probably available at other places as well. But it's a little silicone brush, and I'll show you a close-up of it in just a second here to show you why I'm so intrigued with this little glue brush. Here's what this little brush looks like. You can see it's about 7 inches long. It has a thin paddle on one side, and we'll show you that in just a moment. But the other side has some very thick, and you can see they're sort of round, tubular, sort of thick bristles. There's just one bristle. You can see that it's fairly thick. You can see it against my thumb there. And these are manufactured out of silicone, and what that means is if you leave glue on here to dry, it won't stick to the silicone and you can literally peel it off. And I'm going to show you just how this brush works. It's amazing. I've tried it a couple times and I really like this brush. It works very well for gluing. And here's just a blank piece of wood, and you can put the glue right on the brush, or you can put the glue on the piece, and it actually brushes on. You can see that it actually brushes on quite nicely and quite evenly because of the thick bristles on the brush. What's remarkable about this brush is that if you forget to clean it, which I often do, if the glue dries on there, you can actually peel it off, and we're going to do that in just a second. But before we get to that, I want to show you the back, which is just a paddle. Now, any of you who've been watching our videos will have seen me using this, which was a foam brush at one time that got hard, and I just peeled the foam off of it because I wanted to use the paddles for gluing the box joint or dovetail joints, and using a little bit of glue. And the way that worked is we just put a little bit of glue and we could very quickly do that. But look at what here. They've done exactly, somebody has had exactly the same idea where you can actually use the paddle on the back of this little nylon brush to do exactly the same thing when you're doing glue-ups for box joints or dovetail joints. And this is just some scrap that we were testing on. So this is just a great little brush, and I'm actually going to put on a bunch of glue here, and we're going to let it sit overnight. We'll get it all in the bristles, and we'll let it sit for 24 hours, and we'll peel it off tomorrow. So here we are the next day, and I've let the glue sit on this little brush overnight, and I'm going to show you a close-up of peeling this glue off, just how easy it is. Here's our paintbrush, and you can see the glue that is dried on there. Now watch when I flex these bristles, these silicone bristles. Look at this. Look at that. It just peels right off. And that's the glue. You can see it looks like a little honeycomb. If I hold it properly, and you can see. Now there's still a little bit of glue on there, but that you can just kind of flick off of there. You can see how that's just kind of flicking off of there. So the glue actually doesn't stick to it. And you can see there it's just about perfectly clean. So that's what this little brush, how it cleans up after you have let dry glue dry on it. And I haven't tried all sorts of different types of glues on. This is just ordinary carpenter's glue, but apparently other glues do have exactly the same reaction. They just peel off with the same ease. Now here's what I like best about this little brush. You've got two boards that you're gluing together, or maybe multiple boards, and you're gluing together, and maybe you're using biscuits, and I've actually got biscuit holes drilled in here. And it's very important that the glue be spread on both sides of your wood, but it's also very important that the glue is spread very evenly, because if it's not, you can get voids. When the wood goes together and glues, if there's little spaces where there should have been glue, you will end up with voids, and those voids need to be filled with something. And I'm just going to put on one of these sides here, I'm going to do a close-up, and we'll run a bead of glue along here, and then we'll use this little brush to spread it out, and you'll see how evenly it goes on. So here's one side of a board, and we're just going to do one side of it to show you. Now typically on a board like this, what I do is draw a bead of glue on, just like that, and then often I'll use my pinky finger, or I'll use a stick, and it just, whatever you do, it just doesn't do as good a job. Look at how this little brush with these little fingers, how you can actually see the path that it leaves on there. As you glue and spread the glue on, there's no place, you can actually see that there's no place that doesn't get an even, when you work it around, that doesn't get an even gluing. And that's very important when you're gluing boards together, that you don't get voids. And often when I use a stick, and you can see how even that is. And of course you'll get a little bit of glue spillage on either side, but it's better to have that than voids of where there is no glue. At some places, if you used for example, had a place like that where there would be voids, that's actually going to show up when the wood glues together. You'll actually be able to see a little area where glue doesn't come together. So that's what I like about this little brush, how evenly it spreads the glue. Even that area that I just took the glue away, run that down, and you can actually see the path that the brush leaves. Great little brush, quick and easy to clean up, a new little find for the workshop. So that concludes our video on the little Rockler gluing tool. A great little addition, inexpensive, they're like $5, and you know, they can really add a lot of frustration, taking away frustration from working with glues in your workshop. But before you go away, if you like our videos, we'd really ask you to subscribe to this video, and the little subscribe button is just on the top right hand corner of your screen there. And also, if you want to learn more about all of our videos, we always have an associated article on WoodWorkWeb where you can learn more about it, and often there's additional links to more information on woodworking. So if you like what we're doing, subscribe to our video. Go to WoodWorkWeb, subscribe to WoodWorkWeb, because we actually do newsletters from time to time. We only do 4 or 5 a year. You're not going to get inundated with them. And we think they're a very helpful and useful tool to help you learn more about woodworking and the tools to help you in your workshop. I'm Colin Cadet for WoodWorkWeb. Thanks for watching.